Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAR. My name is Edward Blamo. I'm your host and I'm your Media and Communications Officer there at CENTAR. And I'm here along with Mark W. Bondau. Mark is the Media and Communications Assistant at CENTAR, and together we will bring you this program. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll go into our program. Every Wednesday at about this time, and it's a part of our initiative, which is the National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program that is supported by the government and people of Sweden through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA. CENTAR and SIDA have signed an extended partnership agreement, which will see the National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program continue for another 3 years. We've had this agreement with SIDA since 2020, and we have extended our partnership up until 2026. And this radio program is an activity which is part of our advocacy tool that provides essential information about the state of the fight against corruption and national integrity building efforts, as well as promoting the culture of accountability, transparency, and integrity across all sectors and institutions in Liberia. On our NIMBA program, we are running a series of activities, one of which is our Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, where we have lawyers that are seated, willing, and ready to receive complaints of corruption from anywhere and anyone, wherever you are, whoever you are. When you're in a space and you observe corruption, or you witness corruption, or you were affected by corruption, you have a chance to call CENTAR's Advocacy and Legal Advice Center and report that case of corruption. The number is 4432 and it's free of charge for both Orange and Lone Star subscribers. Grab your phone, call 4432, and the lawyers at CENTAR's Advocacy and Legal Advice Center will receive your complaints and act appropriately. At CENTAR, we do not take matters to court. What we do when we receive those corruption complaints, we investigate them, find the merit, and submit to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. We have a very cordial working relationship with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. We've referred several cases. Some of those cases are in court now. And once you report out of corruption to CENTAR or through CENTAR, we are going to forward that complaint to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. And the LACC now has the power to prosecute directly. So that is a very perfect chance for you to have your case or whatever allegations that you may have heard, because nowadays the LACC goes directly to the court with whatever complaints once they find merit, and those allegations, could be heard once you report them through CENTAR. There are other means through which you can report corruption to CENTAR, one of which is the email. You could send an email to elac@centar.org.lr. Again, it's elac@centar, and elac is ALAC. So it's ALAC@centar.org.lr. Once you send an email to that address, the lawyers at CENTAR will receive that complaint and they will act appropriately. You could also send a WhatsApp message to CENTAR, and the number is 0555 722 113. And once you send a WhatsApp message to this number, which is 05557221113, the lawyers at Center will receive your complaint. And we are also running our Integrity Club outreach programs at various universities: AMEU, UMU, University of Liberia, Stella Maris Polytechnic University. All of those universities have our Integrity Club, and we are training young people at those universities. We are imbuing within them the tenets of accountability and transparency and integrity, and they are moving into their classrooms and educating their peers. They are also going into communities and sensitizing people on the need to live and tread with integrity. That is what we are doing through our Integrity Club outreach program. So if you're a student of any one of those universities, University of Liberia, AME University, UMU, Stella Maris, you have a chance to visit the administrative building and ask questions. I want to join the Integrity Club. How do I join? And somebody will be there to direct you to Integrity Club members or whoever that is responsible to, for your onboarding process into the Integrity Club. We're also running our Open Expenditure Initiative. This is where we work with county officials and lawmakers to ensure that there is transparency in the utilization of the county's social development funds. So when funds are allocated to counties for development purposes, Center ensures that first there is inclusivity in terms of how the decisions around the utilizations are made. So we organize forums. We call that Open Expenditure Forum, and our forum brings together everyone: disabled, women, young people, men, elders, county officials, legislators. Everyone is included and is involved in decision making around those funds. So everyone's voice is heard, everyone participates, and when a decision is made to do a project or from those funding, that decision is a holistic one. It meets the consensus of everyone in the room, and that is what we intend to do, and that's what we're doing through our Open Expenditure Initiative. We don't just stop there. We do follow-up visits on those projects. So if a hand pump was constructed as a result of the county social development funds, we ensure that there's value for money, that first the hand pump was constructed, and second, that it meets the value for money threshold. So we do all of those through our regular visits, our monitoring visits to those counties, and all of these are happening on our Open Expenditure Initiative, which is also a part of our National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program. We are also working with governments, anti-graft institutions on the National Integrity Forum, and they include the General Auditing Commission, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the Governance Commission, the National Elections Commission, the Liberia Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. And you just think about anti-graft institutions, the GAC, all of those institutions are members of the National Integrity Forum. And what we do with that forum is to encourage collaboration with government institutions. We provide support, financial support, supervisory support to that forum. We fund the activities of the forum through our National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program. They undertake projects and initiatives by themselves, supervised by Center, and those projects are geared towards ensuring transparency in government service delivery. So if you go now at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but if you go to the Ministry of Transport, you have a billboard erected with all of the fees for services of the Ministry of Transport. If you want to get a driver's license, how much it will cost you to get a driver's license, to register your vehicles. All of those information are available on the bulletin board at the Ministry of Transport that was erected under the auspices of the National Integrity Forum. We have similar bulletin board at the Liberia Business Registry with all of the information on fees and to register a business will cost and everything. And the same is at the Bureau of Vital Statistics. We have another bulletin board there with all of the information around fees for services. And we have another one at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. We have some at the Liberia Immigration Service, at the border ports. We are having plans to have some at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for those who would like to get passports, the various categories of passport, what it will cost. And what we're doing through this is to ensure that first, members of the public have access to information around fees or fees for services, so that the likelihood of being exploited, is reduced. Because if you have the information, you have power. If you know that I'm supposed to pay, for example, $50 to get my vehicle registered, you have that information. It's mostly unlikely that someone is going to charge you $75, for example, because you know how much you're supposed to pay. So we are encouraging members of the public to utilize the bulletin boards that we are erecting at those institutions, demand accountability, pay what you are required to pay. Don't pay above what you are required or what is on the bulletin board, because these are approved fees. These are fees that we go to those ministries and agencies, we ask, what are the approved fees? And those fees are given to us, and we print those fees so that you can know how much you're supposed to pay, so that people cannot extort from you. That is what we are doing through our National Integrity Forum. And we also have our State of Corruption report that will release annually. And we've just released the 2023 edition of the State of Corruption report. And that report sort of evaluates the state of corruption in Liberia. It tells you where corruption is high, where it is low, and which sector is more prone to corruption, where more work needs to be done in terms of the fight against corruption. There's a whole lot of things, whole lot of information available in that document. It's available on our website, and the website is www.centar.org.lr. Once you get there, search the documents folder, and you will see our State of Corruption report. You can download it and have it for your research or other purposes. So these are some of the things we are doing at Centar. We will take a short break and invite my colleague, Mark W. Bondau, who will have a conversation with folks from the Road Safety Action International. And we have two distinguished personalities here. We have Mistress Tina Smythe Sirleaf. She is the Deputy Director for Traffic Accident Victim Assistance Program at the Road Safety Action International. I hope I get the pronunciation right.
Yeah.
And we also have Mr. Destiny A. Foley. He is the team lead for awareness at the Road Safety Action International. And we will be talking about road accountability and the negative impact of road accidents in Liberia and what needs to be done, what the organization is doing to promote road safety in Liberia. We'll take this short break, and when we return, we'll get into our discussion part.
My name is Philip Kumako. I'm in charge of mobile applications for EcoBank. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the EcoBank Express account. Do you know you can open a bank account without having to go visit a bank branch? Do you also know that you can open a bank account without having to fill all the paperwork that is normally associated with opening a bank account? Yes, this is true. This is what the EcoBank Express account offers you. The EcoBank Express account is a digital account that is opened using just your mobile number. This account allows you access to a wide range of banking services that is available today. To open an EcoBank Express account, you have two options. The first option allows you to use a smartphone and the internet to open your Express account. To use this option, you need to visit the Google Play Store or the App Store to look for the EcoBank mobile app and install on your smart device. Once launched, click on the Get Started button.
We want to take this time to welcome our guest. If you are following us live, you can just give your reaction to the video. We are live on Truth FM. We are relaying the broadcast from Truth FM live. So if you're also following Integrity TV, we want to say welcome. Thank you for following. So let's welcome our guest. So, Mrs. No, just introduce yourself to the listening audience and the people that follow you live.
Okay, thank you, Mark. I'm Mrs. Tina Smysalif, and as I am the Deputy Director for the Traffic Accident Victim Assistance Program at Road Safety Action International.
And
Yeah, my name is Destiny. My name is Destiny Foley. I'm the team lead for awareness at the Road Safety Actions International here in Liberia.
if I'm not the first, but let me just say Happy New Month.
Yes.
Interestingly, this month is my
Absolutely.
birth month as well.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
So
okay.
I'm excited as well. So thank
Okay.
you guys for being a part of today's show. So let me just say in my own name, welcome again.
Thank you.
So people that are listening might want to know what institution are these two individuals from. So we will just roll the ball over to them that they just talk about this Road Safety Action International. It's very important now. We're saying that development, we want development. But when the development comes, especially as it relates to road, you don't know the uses of the road and everything. So they are here to talk, exclusively about road safety and all of these things. So let's talk about the institution.
Okay. Road Safety Action International, we for Impart Road Safety Institution, and our aim is to promote and enhance road safety in Liberia, and subsequently the Gambia and Sierra Leone. Yes. So um, our aim is to advocate for safe road environment for all road users, and we also provide general awareness and education for road users. We then collaborate with government and international institutions to develop and implement comprehensive road safety policies for Liberia. And then we provide support to road accident victims in
Great,
Liberia.
great. Mr. Foley, you know that road awareness is very important now. Society nowadays, pedestrians and motorcyclists and riders and all of these things. People don't know the importance of roads. So you are from the awareness department as a team lead. So but firstly, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. The weather is kind of good, and I'm excited about May because May seems to be an amazing month for me. A lot of good things are happening, so I'm so excited here today. Um, but to the point, road accident in Liberia is becoming an alarming issue. To me, I think that our president should declare a national state emergency for road accident. Um, Studies has proven that when someone is aware about something, they have 50% chance of surviving that thing. So that means to me that awareness is a key factor to reducing road traffic accident in Liberia.
Mm.
Um, in the last 2 days, I have had some devastating moments, especially so when it comes to road traffic accident. A very close neighbor of mine lost her mother to accident. It was on a Wednesday. She was coming from work and going home along the Broadview route. and she was involved in an accident. Her foot got broken. She was rushed to JFK Hospital, and Tuesday morning at 3 o'clock, she passed. Another colleague of mine who we worked at the road safety accident lost his cousin. I think the same Tuesday or Saturday morning. He was involved in an accident, watching a motorbike along the road, and a truck came and just ran into them, and he lost his life. And sometimes, the effect of these accidents are long lasting. Sometimes they live with us for the rest of our lives, and they come along with so many devastating effects. And so today, we at the Road Safety Actions International, we thought that it is important for us to continue creating awareness for both motorcyclists, pedestrians, truck drivers, public transport providers, private transport providers. So it's a very huge one, we know, but we are trusting and believing that, with the collaboration of the media team, thanks to the Truth FM Family Center for affording us this opportunity to be here. I know we'll come to that officially, but the need for awareness, especially so for road traffic accident or road use, it cannot be overemphasized. And so today we're here just because of that.
Hmm. So the statistics that says according to the latest WHO data published in 2020, I'm talking about 2020.
Yeah.
Well, now we're in 2024.
2024.
It says road traffic accident deaths in Liberia reached 1,920, or 5.70% of total deaths.
Mhm.
The age-adjusted death rate is now 55.89 per 100,000
Yeah.
population, and ranks Liberia number 4 in the world.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just look at 2020,
Yeah,
and now
2020
we're talking about 2024.
Mhm.
I'm sure it has exacerbated.
over exacerbated.
So let's talk about some of the reasons why there are accidents, especially on the road and all of these things like that.
So
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, let's
Okay, just to there are so many factors that contribute to road accidents, and one of which is infrastructure.
Mm.
Yes, um, roads should be built in a particular way with all the measures put into place, the road signs, the zebra crossing, and all those things, lightning and everything. And secondly, human behavior. We use the road like every day. As we leave our homes, we hit the roads. And if our behaviors cannot keep us safe on the road, then definitely there's a possibility for us to find ourselves in accidents.
Mm.
Drivers are not getting proper driver training. They don't go to the proper driving schools to get all the education they need to use the roads. So someone will then go and then learn right on one field and then hit the road. It's a whole different thing from the road to just an open field.
Mm. So, Mr. Foley, let's talk about we were talking about national development. National development. You say you increase the budget, you do this, or do that. So, is road safety a national education? That's a national development as well.
Now I will just come to that. But before I come to that, I just wanted to buttress my colleague a little bit more. You know, infrastructural development comes with responsibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, the decade of action, that is one of the sustainable development goals, goal 3.11 and 3.6, talks about by 2030, every country at least must be able to build her roads that will meet international standard. That is 3-star rating and above. So star rating is a kind of design that every road should have that accommodates all road users.
Mm.
Cycling, people who are walking, people who are crossing the road, people who are using the trucks drivers, the keke riders, and every other road user, even disabled and elderly people.
Mm.
Unlike in Liberia, our designs, most of our design, if not all, um, I don't want to say is 100% lacking, but from a physical visual perspective, most of them are lacking. Lightnings, Let's look at our RIA role. For instance, the RIA role is under construction, but there hasn't been provision made for lightnings. I'm still in a state of dilemma to know whether or not we'll finish constructing the road before we start cutting lightings. Let's look at the EWA to Coca-Cola factory road. You notice it was after the road was constructed before we had a team of electrical engineers that came back to come and cut the lightning poles for the roads. And there are several measures that can be put into place to minimize our costs for constructing these roads. Instead of you having double lightnings on both wings of the road, you can have a single lighting at the middle of the road and then spread the lightnings on both roads, which will reduce costs. So one of the challenges of our increase of road traffic accident is, number one, is human behavior. We are so much accustomed to the ideology of having superiority on the roads. For instance, when a truck driver is driving and he meets a pickup driver, that truck driver takes advantage of the pickup driver, and he feels that he has more privilege to the road than the pickup driver. Same way, when a pickup driver meets a taxi driver, the pickup driver feels that he has more advantage over the road toward the taxi driver. It comes down to the keke riders. It comes down to the motorcyclists. And it even comes down to pedestrians. So when you are in a car and a pedestrian is trying to cross the road, you notice that because you are in a car and driving, sometimes people will even be asking, what are you doing on the road? Are you kidding me? I mean, does the person don't have right to cross the road? It happened to me, and those were some of the reasons why my passion for road safety in Liberia has become so much on the go. Few months back, I was trying to cross the road in Congo Town. There was a crosswalk, or there is a crosswalk around the Zone 3, Zone 3 police station, around the boutique there. There's a crosswalk. You will not believe, I was on the crosswalk in the middle of the road, and the guys kept running, coming to me as though that I did not have the right to cross the road. So number one problem of road traffic accident in Liberia is behavior. The behavior of all road users is a major contributing factor to road accident in Liberia. And how can we solve that problem? Is by continual awareness, continual education, and people being able to accept the fact that all of us have responsibility to the life we save. Because you never know the taxis you are running, going to, and think that you have advantage over that taxi, your relative could be in that taxi.
Sure.
So when we have the mentality that, the people we are taking advantage of could just be someone related to us, road traffic accident will reduce drastically.
So the urgency of road education is very important. It's essential to national development.
National development.
Not just this other one, but I think education is very, very key to national development. So you talked about human behavior, right? I think it's very important that we stress more on that, because some pedestrians and some drivers or whoever road users, they are very adamant, especially when it relates to things that happen on the road. Like for example, this pedestrian wants to cross the road. He or she will see the crosswalk and will leave the crosswalk and go different place.
Yes.
And things that the car that is coming will stop for.
Yes, absolutely.
We just don't understand why people are not. So I think you want to throw light on the question.
There's lots. When you are on the road, Mike, and you have the knowledge of being safe on the road, you get angry like every minute. Because even on our way here, I was telling the other guy I was coming, and I was like, why don't you use the crosswalk? He was like, just a step away from the crosswalk. Why don't you use the crosswalk? And then the other day I had an experience where, because normally from the office, I usually walk from the office to 540 to use the crosswalk. So then I came across a police officer crossing a pedestrian few minutes from the crosswalk. So I was like, we all have to get involved. We all have to get involved because it comes along with enforcement.
Mhm.
We need enforcement of these things. If someone, you can also be an educator as a police officer. Tell a pedestrian, oh, don't use that side, use the crosswalk. And I believe constantly doing it over and over again, people will then start getting used to the crosswalk. So yeah, as Destiny said, there is a need for you know, awareness all around Liberia. People need to get this thing. They need to understand how to get safe on the road, how to use the crosswalk. Like seriously, Mark.
It's very important. So
Very,
we talked about
very important.
supremacy of the road, right? So when I feel that I'm a pedestrian trying to cross the road, I mean the cars are coming should automatically stop for me.
Absolutely.
And if I'm a driver, I feel that when the red light does not stop and you trying to cross, I feel that I can jam you because I do have the authority to move in.
Yeah.
And we need to talk a lot about that too as well. Some drivers are very, very disgruntled, especially when it really stopping for pedestrians.
Sure.
I mean, it's absolutely, they will see the red light being stopped, but some of them will still want to force it because perhaps they have a schedule that they want to meet up quickly with. How do you see that as well?
So like we said, I just want to just throw light on stakeholders management.
Okay.
Because road safety is a global responsibility, is a national responsibility, is an environment responsibility. Everybody is responsible to make sure that the roads are safe. And so that I'm in a vehicle does not mean that I'm so superior over a pedestrian or motorcyclist. Now, I followed the Caltrace in the US, that is the California road transportation system. When a pedestrian is on the road and God forbid your car hit that pedestrian, you take responsibility of that pedestrian. If that pedestrian had a child that is below 18, you will continue to send that child to school and feed that child. You will do welfare for that person until the third generation.
Wow.
So you know what that means? You will take care of the child, take care of the parent, take care of the grandparents before you are out of that predicament, to the extent that they are even afraid to kill animals. When an animal is crossing the streets, the carts will stop for an animal to cross. So I think the government need to put some stringent measures into place. Like we were talking about the 1972 law that is just being revised, which we could take another day to go deeper and deeper into it. Now, let's come back to Liberia. Before the law was revised, there was no law on child restrainer use, the use of child restrainer. So you will see a parent will be carrying a child below the age 13, and the child is in her own his or her own seat without seatbelt. Or you see baby mothers carrying babies in carts without a child restrainer, which poses serious risks to the to the child. So we need some serious laws to be put into place. Even though, yes, there is behavioral, there is a behavioral pattern that is responsible for, the misuse of roads. But on the other hand, we also need government partnership and education. Like we said from the beginning, education is one of the key things that will reduce road traffic accident. That's why we are working with the Ministry of Education. Right now, we're at the closure of a partnership with the Ministry of Education to make sure that road safety is part of our extracurricular activities in all schools in Liberia. We're starting working with 20 schools right now, in fact, 50 schools across Liberia. And the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Education are our major stakeholders with technical support from GIZ that is providing us the material to be used in these schools to be able to establish road safety clubs as an extra mandatory extracurriculum activities in all schools across Liberia. So we believe that engaging the schools, engaging the public, engaging transport providers can also help to reduce, because Liberia being the fourth highest in road traffic accident is very alarming and a cause for national emergency.
That's very true. I mean, we all just got to continue talking about it. One of the things that caught my attention is stakeholders engagement, right? So you meeting, especially from the education side, meeting with the Ministry of Education, from another angle, meeting with the Minister of the Ministry of Public Works, and also the host, the national legislature is very important because they are the one who once they exercise it, a political will, in terms of educating people about road safety. I think it's going to be very important, right? So how are you, trying to, collaborate with these, stakeholders to make sure that yes, indeed, people know about road safety and all of these things?
Uh, um, we've been to almost all the ministries within Liberia,
Okay.
and we have also signed MOU with some of these institutions. But moreover, we have developed something that is coming up. I think Eric spoke about it the other day, the stakeholder dialogue, where we will have stakeholders from everywhere will gather at a place, if it's for 3 days, for 4 days, discussing road safety. And what are those things that we can do to improve our road safety within Liberia to help reduce the number of lives that we lost. So there will be a day, there will be a time, and when the time is right, the information will actually go out. We will have the president, we have international communities, we have our
National
government.
stakeholder
Yeah,
dialogue.
everyone will come together to discuss this thing, because Mike, we see road accident happening every day, and it's just we see the scene of the accident. We see maybe a person or two persons involved in an accident. The impact of the accident goes way beyond that. We have kids out of school because parents have lost their lives. There are no other support come in for those kids. We have father who are taking care of kids and is disabled. We come across these things like every day. Well, right now, right after we leave this studio, we have like three parents, three families to visit. We have our outreach programs that we go to after the accident. We reach at the accident scene. We go to the police station. We are in partnership with the Liberia National Police, where we go to collect our data, road accident data, and we do our outreach program. We reach out to those victims, their families. We go there, we listen to their story. You see the families, Mike, you will know that this thing is serious. You see a mother who is sitting home, a single mother. She have no job. The children are there, no school. And then even to just manage to have a single meal on the table for those kids has become very difficult because their breadwinner is gone. So I believe that there are so many things that we can do as a government, as individuals, as partners. We can come together, we can collaborate and come up with programs that we believe that will help these people. It is a serious issue. And just recently we visited the family of the recent accident on the ELW road that killed the lady Pauline and her nephew. We just visited the family. Mike, this is a serious issue.
It is.
This is serious. So we are calling on the government. We are calling for action. We need to do something about this. That's why we need change in policies. We need that there should be a social protection for these people. Where at the end of the day, nobody will leave their homes in the day and say, okay, I'm going to find myself into an accident. No. Nobody will plan for these things, but these things happen. So what happened to these children who are affected? What happened to families that are retrogressing into extreme poverty because of road accident? There's a need for action. We need to take a step. And that is why Road Safety Action International have developed the program, or the TAVA, the Traffic Accident Victim Assistance Program. In this program, we have three sections of this program. We have the moral and legal support, we have the financial support, and then right now we are working on a first aid training or program project. we believe that there are steps that we can take to mitigate the effect of road accident. So for the first aid program, the idea is when an accident happens, we have bystanders.
Okay, great. But
Yeah.
before you talk about those section of the programs, let's open the line quickly because
Okay.
people are listening and they want to talk about give a perspective about this entire road accident
Sure.
and all of these things. So if you're monitoring this broadcast, you can put in your call so 0776-6263-90. 0776-6263-90. If you're monitoring this broadcast, you can put in your calls to 0776-6263-90, or better still, you can also call 086-62-63-90. And let's talk about road accidents and all the road safety, all of these things like that. So back to you, Mrs. Salih. Just continue on what you were
Yes,
saying.
as I was saying, for the first aid training program, when an accident takes place, we have bystanders, and we have something called the golden hour. That's the time where a victim will survive or not. So the first aid training program is set aside to train bystanders on first aid response to road accidents. And then we'll have these people stationed to black spots, areas that accidents frequently happen. So if there is an accident, they should be able to respond to that accident immediately to help reduce the injuries and the possibility of someone losing their lives. And then our moral and legal support program, like as I said, for the outreach is part of the moral and legal support program. Because after an accident, people suffer emotional breakdown.
Exactly.
People are traumatized, even just by seeing the scene. By being on the scene, you get traumatized. So then we reach out to these families, we talk to them. And for the legal aspect, road accident comes with a lot of burdens, a lot of challenges. You can have somebody, family, somebody who have lost their husband, somebody who have lost a child, or somebody who have lost their wife, and they're already struggling to make ends meet for them and their family. But then they have not gotten legal redress to that particular issue. And you know how the system is. To go through the process of getting legal redress is difficult. So then we have had a couple of discussions with the national the bar association to see how we can provide these people with some legal assistance, where a family will not be going through all the burden and then going through headache in getting their legal redress. So then if the partnership then of materialize, we will have a system put into place where victims now will have people representing them in court. That's where we talk about transparency and people being accountable for what they have done. Because you cannot rip a family of a life, you cannot rip a family of their breadwinner, of a father, and then you cannot be accountable for your actions. So these are things that we put into place. And then for the financial support program, somebody have lost their father or their mother, there is no income. We have this, we are making plans to have this small medium business loan where victims will be able to go and have something that will be able to work within, do a little business where the mother will be able to take care of her children, will be able to provide school fees for the kids, where the kids will not be forced to get in the street to fend for themselves. So these are programs that we are putting into place. And in so doing, we are also working on policies at Road Safety Action International. As Destiny said, there are things that are really important that have not been put into books. So we identify those gaps, and then we make reference to them, and then will be sending it to government institutions, to the legislature, so they can look into it and see the need. For 1972, it's a long time. We have developed a lot in the transport system, and so they are even in manufacturing of vehicles. It's not like before. So there are laws that then will match what we are doing now.
Okay, if you're monitoring this broadcast, you can put the calls to 0776-6263-90, 0776-6263-90, or better still, you can call 086-6263-90. So, Mr. Foley, let's talk about she talked something that really grabs my attention as it relates to the legislature, right? So political will is
Yes,
very important.
political will.
So, how is the institution collaborating with the legislature, executive? I mean, let's take this call quickly. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm little Ziadi calling from Benofa.
Okay, let's hear you. I believe you follow the broadcast.
Yeah, hello. I have to explain my thing to your studio guest.
Okay.
And yeah, accident business where we have to take it serious. Like some of our drivers, they intentionally, I can say they can mean it to do it because some of them they know that the car that they're using, the car is not in good condition. They know very well that the car don't have a good brake. Alright, all the parts they are very poor in on the road. So that they can yet destroy people's life. So at the end they feel like it's not actually it's not a crime that they will put somebody inside for the last time or for 6 years, 7 years. So they don't care. I think we have to get law for that. Somebody you create somebody else, there should be a punishment. When we do that, they will continue putting the vehicle on the road.
Don't make the drivers who come and start calling to protest against you.
No, but I won't say you say you can see the vehicle out on the street. Some of them don't put it on the street at all.
That's true.
If they not do it, they will get caught. I'll be having only one life.
That's
and
true.
hit the other.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take this other caller. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Hello, caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah. Get yourself away from the monitor. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Howard.
Okay.
I'm just calling. I'm listening to you. Well, I heard. I know here, but when you get a car here, you usually pay your insurance, right?
Exactly.
So it pay your insurance, and then anything happen to if you driving to the accident. So if you pay your insurance, God forbid anything happen, who's responsible?
Okay, they are listening to true light on that. Thank you for participating.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about the political way. Then you start to answer because they want to start jamming the calls into motion.
Okay, so the political will is one of the major areas that can reduce road traffic accident. For instance, Sweden used to be one of those countries who had a high rate of road traffic death and injuries. In 1997, Sweden instituted a Vision Zero. So the Vision Zero was to reduce traffic accident by 50% before 2020. And in fact, the Global Status Report reported that Sweden surpassed the Vision Zero by 2020. And they even set another vision by 2030 that they should have nobody should die on their roads as a result of road traffic accident. So that was a legislation by national government. So we may not be able to do the same as Sweden did, but there are several legislations that we can put into place to be able to reduce road traffic accidents, especially with the use of the decade of action. We are lacking. 2030 is just 4 or 5 years from now. So where are we with our roads? Where are we with our legislation? So another thing we could do as a country is, like the caller was just saying, right? We should be able to have laws, non-bailable laws for intentional RTIs or RTDs. Okay, a road traffic accident or road traffic death, especially so when there is an investigation, an investigation has proven that it was as a result of faulty vehicles. I was at a disadvantage one day when I was leaving from Kakata after 6, and I did not know that the guy who car that I got in did not have headlights. Until when we got around the Robertsfield highways, then I got to understand that the guy was driving on a zero lights. He knew that the car did not have headlights, but
Intentionally.
he took the risks to bring us, myself, because it was a little bit clear during the day, so we did not really care about headlights and stuff like that. When we got at the middle of the road, then we got to understand that the car did not have headlights. He was driving as low as 25-30 kilometers per hour. So we need to have these laws into place so that people who intentionally, sometimes accidents happen mistakenly, but sometimes People intentionally do these things. And so when an investigation is done and then it is discovered that these things could have been prevented and people intentionally do it, there should be a non-beatable law. And the penalty of this kind of thing should be very high, especially so at the result of defective vehicles.
All right, all right. That's the voice of Mr. Foley. We are running out of time. I just looked and it's almost 12 o'clock. I mean, we could continue this discussion on and on. The calls are coming, but some people are beeping. So, however, we want to wind this down because we can continue. Next program is up quickly. So we'd just like to take your concluding statements and parting comments as well. Let's start with Ms. Salih.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Thanks to the team for giving us this opportunity, and I believe there's more to come because this thing is everyday thing. We need to talk about it like all the time, and so we want to say thank you to the team, and we hope that at the end of it all, we will see why we are talking. We will see the results of why we are advocating. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah, Mr. Foley.
All right, so I want to appreciate the management of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated, especially so the Center platform, for giving us this opportunity to share on road traffic accident in Liberia. For me, I love statistics.
Okay.
And Liberia being a country that's operating on 5 billion per GDP annually and lost like 3%, 7% of 5 billion is about 350 million if you do your mathematics. And if the government is losing 350 million, this is a call I will always make. If the government is losing 350 million without definite impact on returns, we think the government should see ways and means to invest more into road safety prevention instead of aftercare. And so I just want to throw a little bit of light on the lady who talk about insurance.
Yeah, that's for a woman.
I'm not from an insurance company, but I'm sure that when your car is insured, depending on the gravity of the accident or so, the insurance per the category you register for, they are able to cover some costs, if not all.
All right, thank you so very, very much. That was the voice of Mr. Foley and Mr. Salih. They are from the Road Safety Action International. We want to say thank you so very much for following the program that you're in tune to. It's Integrity Watch. Thank you very, very much for following, and do have yourself a pleasant Wednesday and happy new month. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.